What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Chops and Hops. Man, we've got some awesome stuff today. I'm going to move this in a little bit closer. We're like family here, real close. Dude, I missed you guys, man. I always do. It's been a week. And I've got a lot of cool things to share with you guys today. We've got some meat and potatoes to get in here today because I really want to know your thoughts on some things. You'll see the title of this. I want to talk about that, but I want to share some things with you guys first. And thank you for all coming on. Acoustic, thank you so much. Guys, I do have Super Chat. YouTube finally let me have that. And it's where you can donate. If you guys want to do that, that's awesome. Basically, these donations are going to go towards all the production cost of my upcoming album. So, Acoustic, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. And I'm gonna be kicking off some more live stuff. So, I've got good news for a lot of you guys. And hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining. This is awesome. So, one piece of good news I'm not gonna quite share yet. That's coming, I promise. And this is like really awesome good news. I sent this to you guys in the email. I know sometimes you don't get your emails. I think that's just a problem with email services in general because we get so many emails. But I'm gonna make a quick announcement here in a little bit. I've got a cool video coming out tomorrow, and it's actually I'm gonna tell you guys because you probably see my Facebook and Instagram already. I got to play through the Orange Rocker Verb amp today. And man, I was really impressed with that amp. You know, don't worry, I'm not getting rid of my EVH, and I'm not buying an Orange Rocker Verb amp because that thing's super expensive. I'll tell you kind of the pros and cons here, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Faceless, you're right, dude. The email's delayed because COVID-19 scared the emails off. You know, all of you guys should have got an email from me today, probably about 3 hours ago. I tried to send this Chops and Hops link out earlier than that, and it was my bad, guys. I totally forgot. I tried to send the Chops and Hops email out like on Monday so that you have the link so that you can set the reminder. A lot of you guys, I don't know if you use the YouTube reminder, but since you're subscribed, YouTube should send you a little notification anyway. So a couple announcements before we dig into like the heart and soul of what we're going to talk about today. And I want you guys to share your thoughts too. So I went to Replay Guitar Exchange this morning and I tried that amp out. This place is real cool. It's like, in my opinion, it's the music store in Tampa. What I love about it is it's mom and pop. And look, there's nothing wrong with Sweetwater. I shop at Sweetwater. There's nothing wrong with Guitar Center and all that. We try to support mom and pop when we can. It's not always feasible to do that, but we try to do it when we can. And I'm trying to do the majority of my music business with Replay Guitar Exchange, just because they've always been good to me. I don't know if you heard that just a minute ago, that thunder. We've been thunderstruck! A little AC/DC. If things go south during this whole thing right here, it's because of that thunder you just heard. Man, it is like, yeah, you guys heard that. It's crazy. It just like came out of nowhere. It's funny. I told my wife, you know, we've been out like all day today because we went to Replay Guitar Exchange where I tested the Thunderstruck, Paul. But we tested the new amp, and you're right. That could be my drummer out there. That could be like that just happens to happen like a few different times to get some double bass. But man, it just like came down all of a sudden about an hour ago, and holy crap, dude. You know, because I was like, babe, I'm gonna jump in the pool after Chops and Hops tonight because I haven't been in the pool all week. I've been so busy, man, which is good. Not complaining. I love being busy. I love doing what I do here. But I have been just making a lot of YouTube content. You guys have caught a few videos of mine. Many of you have commented on my last video, and I appreciate that. You guys are so honest with your comments, and it's awesome to see that because I'm not always looking for people to say, yeah, Jason, I agree with you. I expect sometimes for you guys to maybe say, Jason, I don't know that I agree with you on this. This is, anyway, so I'll get into that later. But yeah, I had put out a video about seven string, seven tips not, or I'm sorry, seven mistakes not to make on your seven string. I was halfway joking about a lot of them, but I put them out there anyway though because I'm kind of serious about some of them as well. And a lot of that stuff's just my personal taste. It's not anything against any style of music. I just put some stuff out there comically. But at the very end of that video, I talk about my continuing struggle with my seven string guitar. And, I'll chat some about that tonight too. But anyway, so today I went to Replay Guitar Exchange, tried out the orange Rocker Verb amp. You guys, you probably saw on Facebook and Instagram today, I put some clips out there. Tomorrow, the YouTube video comes out. I have it scheduled to post at 5:30 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. So, Faceless, I know you and other folks in Europe. That's like later, not even quite lunchtime yet, I think. So, you guys will have it out by then. But yeah, anyway, so that comes out tomorrow, and I think the video itself turned out really, really good. Not even the tones. I mean, the tones were good too, but just the whole video. My wife and I put like what I call a food interlude in the video because her and I went to breakfast after that. A little. I love where Replay Guitar Exchange is located. It's in what's called South Tampa, and it's about a 40-minute drive, 30-minute drive from where we're at, depending on traffic. And it's kind of like a really just neat area, kind of a big and well-known area of Tampa here. And so anyway, there's a lot of cool shops and stuff like that. So we went across the street and got some breakfast, had some pancakes and waffles and sausage and just, oh my God. So I'm like, I've got to let my YouTubers see this meal because it's awesome. I love breakfast food and coffee. But anyway, so that's coming out tomorrow. You guys will see that. And in fact, you'll get I'll have it in my email. You guys know I send an email every Friday. I send an email. It's called Metal Guitar Friday, and that comes out every Friday. And it basically is just some links going to different videos and whatever happened that week, so you can catch up on it just in case you missed something or you want to rewatch something or whatever. I even have the links going to the Chops and Hops if you guys care to watch that again. So, that'll be in the email tomorrow, and so will this video. Not, I'm sorry, this video be in there, but so will the video about the orange Rocker Verb. So I'm excited for you guys to see that tomorrow because, man, I love that amp. Doug, you want me to buy you a recto record? What is it called? Rocker Verb. I almost said recto. I was thinking dual rectifier, but get my amps mixed up here. Yeah, Doug. I'll tell you what, though, guys. Here's the thing. I told Cliff, the dude, one of the guys that works there, who's extremely cool, man. These people are awesome. That's another reason why I support them. I told him, I'm like, I love the distortion on this amp. So it's got EL34 tubes. It's a 50-watt amp. Okay, it's a 50-watt amp, 212. It's only the only thing I don't like about it. It's only two channels. It's like because I told my friend, it's like my friend Cliff, I'm like, dude, I almost like the distortion, better than my EVH, which is really not true. I am guilty of getting caught up in the moment. I'm gonna confess to you guys. I'm very guilty of like doing something like playing a guitar or playing a tone or drinking a certain beer or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome, because I get really excited about new things. I like to make life exciting. So anything new, now if I don't like something, I'm like, okay, I don't like that. It's like if I try a beer I don't like, I'm like, okay, maybe that's for you, but not for me. Or if I try, because I first played through a Friedman amp, and I'm like, well, let me try to see if I can get a metal tone out of this Friedman amp, and no, not happening. I'm like, okay, unplug. We're not using the Friedman amp. I was at Replay because I was asking them, I'm like, hey, if you guys have equipment that you're trying to kind of push, then I'd be happy to kind of do a demo of that to help you guys. He's like, well, we're trying to push Friedman, and I'm like, okay. So I plugged into it, and I'm like, no, it's not working for metal. I'm sure it's a great amp for other things. So then I saw the Rocker Verb because I had planned on, when I was there last time, demoing the Black Star, which this orange amp just, it's in another category that the Black Star is. You see, I played through an orange amp a long, long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember this video. I played live at a fundraiser for veterans. I think it was back in 2016 or 17. I was at Coppertail Brewing, and Replay Guitar Exchange was hosting this event. It was like a guitar contest or whatever. It really wasn't a contest, but it was. So I played there, and I just played through the house amp that Replay had brought along, which happened to be an orange amp. Now I don't know what kind of orange amp it was, but here's the thing I'll tell you. This is the second time I've ever played through an orange amp. I'll tell you a little bit about the rocker verb here. So for one, it's the MK3. So, and I don't know much history. I just learned this today when I was looking up the specs, because I never remember this stuff. I have to look it up. So the MK2 was a different version, and I hear that was a decent version, but Orange doesn't actually make that version anymore, and they replaced it with MK3. So I will say, man, the gain, I didn't expect to hear what I heard or feel what I felt when I was playing through it. It really was awesome, guys. But anyway, so I told Cliff, the guy that works there, I'm like, I almost like this better than my EVH, which again, I was caught up in the moment. And he's like, well, dude, you can trade it in. And I'm thinking, okay, my EVH cost, that would brand new was like $1,500 or $1,600 for the head and the 212 cab. They're separate, right? And it's a 50 watt. It's, it's EL34s. The EVH has 3 channels. This rocker verb is $2,300. So it's like almost $800 more than my EVH. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I would trade this amp and I would still owe you guys a lot of money. Plus, I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get the full 15, 16 out of this. And, and my EVH has 3 channels. The orange only has 2. So I'm getting a bad deal if I try to trade this in. I was never considering actually trading my EVH for that. I'll probably always keep this amp, guys. This EVH here. Now, that being said, DW, what's up, dude? That being said, what you hear right now, that's not the EVH. What you just heard, and I'll tell you why I'm not using the EVH right now. What you just heard was my Fender Mustang amp. Now, granted, it's coming through my little lapel mic here. That's what you guys are listening. So it's not horrible sound, but it's not the greatest sound in the world. You guys aren't hearing the greatest, but that's another amp I don't know if I'll ever part with. My Fender Mustang 4. I don't know that I'll ever part with that amp, because yeah, basically it probably sounds fuzzy, dude. It's the mic, man. I mean, most of the time I have my mic closer to my speakers back here, and I'm playing with plugins because it just gives a little bit better quality sound from here to the camera. However, I'm not doing that tonight because we've had the power go out a couple times, so I don't want to be jamming and like, oh, what happened? So if the lights go out, now my phone should be okay. I'm recording with my iPhone 11. I'm doing this on my iPhone 11, and the thing is I turn the Wi-Fi at home off on my phone when I go live like this because my T-Mobile signal, which we use T-Mobile, that signal never really fails. So it's really pointless for me to try to use because our home internet, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's very spotty. It goes down sometimes. Like my wife and I were just watching TV earlier, and we're watching Netflix. I think we're watching The Order, which is a cool show. Vampires, werewolves, and that sort of gothic metal stuff. But we were watching that, and it just kept cutting in and out. So it's like crap. We get a little tiny bit of rain, and our internet just goes to crap. So yeah, the Orange Levant, the Orange Rocker 32, a killer combo. So I played through the Orange Rocker 50 watt. That's the one I played through. The 50 watt 212 with an MK3. And acoustics. You used to live in Key West. Yeah, dude. Florida has storms. That's the thing. This starting now. We are officially in hurricane season as of June 1st, and it lasts all the way to November 12th or something weird like that. You know what I mean? So it's just something that you have to deal with. All right, guys. So before we get started, what beer are you guys drinking right now? Type that in the comments. So I am having what's called, this is funny, man. When I saw this beer, I had to get it. First of all, you guys know I love IPAs. Acoustics got the Mick Ultra. So this is called Beach Hippie IPA, and it's by the brewery's called Permission Hollow, which is kind of a strange name for a brewery. But I tried this. I tried this last week. Really good, man. So Levent's got Heineken. DW's got the cola out. Faceless. I don't know if Faceless. I've seen your Instagram stuff, and yeah, dude, the iPhones are just great, man. The iPhones are just, man, they're crazy. So I was recording up to just a few months ago when I got the iPhone 11. I was using the iPhone 7. Yeah, Liam, I know you're too young to drink beer, dude, but you recommend Quilmes beer. I always love trying new beers, especially from different regions of the world. I'm just a I'm a sucker for, learning about different parts of the world, different cultures. Whenever I'm around people from different cultures, and you know what, people in the U.S. sometimes, like, the U.S. has little different cultures even here. You like Florida, you got parts of Florida are very different. The people are very different. Alex, you got Bud Light, awesome dude, and but if you go from here to like New York City, for example, or then to California or somewhere else, it's very different. The culture is different. It's crazy. But anyway, I love just talking with people from different cultures, and like I'm genuinely interested in learning about the culture, and all that sort of thing. So, Faceless dude, I've not tried Crick beers. Those are from Belgium, dude. Belgian beers are good. I've tried several Belgian beers, and I think New Belgium, the brewery, I think they do Belgium style beers, but I've had a couple others. I don't remember, but I've never. The thing about it is like Belgium and German beers, those just beers from over there is just real good, dude. Like honestly, I'm not a big fan of our of like our Miller Lite and Bud Light and stuff like that because the American beers, they're just not good to me. I used to drink a lot of them, but those are like a lot of times those are just like beers to get drunk on. It's like let me go down a case of Bud Light. But I love craft beer. Now, if I didn't have craft beer, I might, have to revert to the other stuff. Who knows? Matthias, you can always ship me Brazilian beer, dude. Absolutely. I will accept. Brazilian beers. And Quilmes from Argentina. That's awesome, guys. That's really awesome. I've never been to Belgium, dude. So Faces, you went to a bar that had only Creek. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Creek, Creek beers. I don't know if there's like an accent that goes with that. Man, that's awesome, dude. Oh, a skull mug, yeah. That sounds like a cool bar. I've always wanted a heavy metal bar. Who knows? I may do one someday. Oh, Creek. Okay, gotcha. Creek beers. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So we've got our drinks, guys. Um, One thing I want to tell you real quick before I ask the big question here is um, my very first album, Apocalyptic Dreams. I found my old files, my original recorded files. What happened was I recorded that album on a Toshiba laptop, and that laptop crapped out a long, long time ago. So when I bought my iMac, I guess I didn't have time to transfer everything over. Somehow I was able to get into my Toshiba a long time ago. This is probably 4 years ago. And somehow I had created another like user profile on my Mac to mirror what was in my old laptop. I don't remember how I did that, guys. I'm not really good with stuff like this, but somehow I did that. And when I checked, I was able to. I saw my files. I'm like, holy crap! I've got a lot of songs in here that I had lost because my Toshiba was crapped out. But apparently, I had saved a lot of those on my Mac in another profile. So I had to go to the other profile and bring them over. So I have all the files for the Apocalyptic Dreams album. What this means is I am going to set up either next week or the week after. I'm going to do a live concert here in my studio, and I'm going to play along with that album. I need some time to learn some of the solos because I don't remember them, but I kind of play different solos anyway. Like even if I know my solo, if I feel if I feel like something different coming over me, I'll play something a little different. I'll try to keep the same format, but I don't know. Something about playing live. even when I hear a band play live, I don't necessarily want to hear it just like it's on the album or the CD or whatever. I want to hear it a little bit differently because I want that experience, because that experience you will never have again, never hear again. I know some people are real strict about playing exactly like, they played it already, but anyway. So Liam, Kirk Hammett made a fail. What was the fail, dude? I didn't see. I'll have to look that up, man. I didn't see that. I love Kirk Hammett, man. I really I admire his playing so much. And the funny thing is Kirk Hammett. He's not. I don't consider Kirk Hammett to be a guitar virtuoso like, let's say, Yngwie Malmsteen, or Jason Becker. He was, some of these guys are complete virtuosos, and I don't think if you're not one, that doesn't mean you're not as good of a guitarist. It's just you're playing a different style. Kirk Hammett, he was more, in my opinion, Kirk Hammett was more about writing the solo to fit the song and to fit the story that the song is telling. Whereas a lot of the guitar virtuosos, they just play, and it's great to hear that, and it takes a lot of talent. But I've said this in multiple videos. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, but it's just I can only take so much of that. If the guitar solo is not telling me a story, if it's not taking me on this really awesome journey, I get bored. I'm like, okay, it's great you can do that. Go show out somewhere else. I want to hear some really good, wholesome. I don't know. That's just my opinion, guys. You know what I mean? Yes, like I'm Matthias. I'm dying. Like I'm still talking, still talking. Nope, gotta talk. Nope. I'm dying to take a sip of my beer. Gemma Jones, good. Awesome. That means you're using your girlfriend's phone for something really cool, man. So, let me catch up here. My bitch Sustain, what's up, dude? Grosh is expensive, but at least the bottles are worth keeping too. Oh, I've never had that before, dude. That sounds like something I'd like to try. Yeah, I know Cryptic. Acoustic. Thank you, brother. Thank you, dude. Um, Cryptic says it's funny because Ingve is known for criticizing Kirk Hammett's playing. I don't know why anyone could. I don't know why anyone would criticize him because I mean, look. Let's just be honest. Metallica's far more successful as a band than Ingve ever was or will be. And I'm not knocking Ingve. He's awesome. He's great. I mean, I can't play what Ingve Malmsteen plays. I can't play sweep arpeggios that fast or that smooth. But the thing with Ingve, like I said, I love a lot of his stuff. I really do. I'm not knocking him, but a lot of times to me, even if he's playing different, whatever, a lot of times to me it sounds like he's just playing the same stuff over and over because it's so fast and it's so the same style. You know what I mean? Which is good to have that signature tone. Ingve starts playing, it's like, okay, I know who that is. That's an awesome thing to have. You want that. Nos, you got to head out, dude. Well, thanks for joining us, man. You know what I mean? But for him to criticize Kirk Hammett, I don't get it. To me that just makes him look like a fool. I don't know. I try not to get into criticizing the way people play, especially people that are out there doing it. I mean, anyway. Yes, acoustic. Thank you, guys. Please hit the like button if you if you think about it. Please hit that thumbs up. I always forget to ask you guys for that. It helps the channel. I don't pretend to understand the YouTube algorithms, but it does help the channel. I do know that. But anyway, so yeah, Kirk solos. I will say this: they are probably a little bit on the most people can play them side of the fence, but that's okay too. It's just like Joe Satriani. Joe Satriani now with Joe, he can do all the technical stuff because he'll do it from time to time, but he doesn't do it all the time, which is really I find I'm a huge Joe Satriani fan. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan. You know, Faceless dude. I love you. That's an awesome comment, dude. I don't live in Belgium, but the girls have nice accents, and the bands are awesome. A lot of friends, cool. Yeah. There is some I love different accents in general. For some reason I've always been fascinated ever since I grew up in a really small town, and we didn't really have a lot of diversity. You know what I mean? So I wasn't around different people until I moved to Tampa. And Tampa here, where I live, is really a melting pot. We have people from all over the world that live here. So it's just really cool that it's just really cool that I get to talk with people from different cultures right here, and I get to learn about that. So that's pretty cool. So Doug, yeah, Hammett was the founder of the thrash metal band Exodus. So that's yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's I love Exodus too, and yeah, I totally forgot about that, man. That's a really good point. Matthias asking about my thoughts on Dimebag, talking about styles. What I think about his style. Here's what I think about Dimebag's style is that it's probably one of the most unique metal styles, and it's unreplicated. And Pantera, while everybody else was going to different, like trying to cater to what was going on in the music industry, especially during the grunge and Seattle sound and all that was going on, Pantera was still playing metal. I mean, dude. So Dimebag style, I'm honestly, guys, I'm not a Pantera fan, but I just don't listen to a lot of Pantera. I haven't listened to a lot of it. But I've listened to some and listened to enough to really respect them as a band. They were a hardworking band. And Dimebag, yeah, dude, he had his own style. I mean, you know, it's crazy. Um, Kirk was number one guitarist back in the early 80s for his solos on Kill 'Em All, but Dave Mustaine wrote the solos. Oh, ouch. Faceless, no, my wife, she looks full Thai. You'll actually see her on the video tomorrow. I have got her in what I call our food interlude between me jamming at replay and showing you the amp and then talking about the amp later. We have a little interlude there. But yeah, so faceless. No, my wife does not have an accent though, dude. She looks full Thai, but she does not have an accent at all. She was born in Bangkok, but she's lived in the U.S. ever since she was about 1 years old. Her dad is retired military, retired Air Force, and that's of course that he met her mom over there in Thailand. He was stationed there for two different times, I think, maybe three. But yeah, she moved over here when she was 1 years old, and of course, being in the military, they moved around quite a bit. She lived in Guam for 2 years, which was really cool, man, a really cool experience for them. But no, she does not have an accent. But we do both speak the language. We do both speak Thai language, so we're both pretty ingrained in the culture and all that good stuff. So Gemma is picking up the same seven string. Would you even consider doing a setup video when the strings need changing, of course? Gemma, I do have a video. If you go on my YouTube channel, if you want, I don't know if you're watching this on your phone or like a desktop, but if you're on your desktop, just open a new browser so you don't lose this. And I do have me changing the strings on my seven string guitar. It's not that bad. Now, I will say this: it's not a complete setup. It's just me changing strings. Um, if I need a guitar really like set up, which I'm about to take my ESP six string in to get it set up, I will actually take that to somebody that knows what they're doing because that person is not me. I will screw up a setup, man, in a heartbeat, no matter how hard I try. DW, your favorite thrash player would have to be Dave Links from Overkill or Andreas from Sepultura. Both phenomenal bands. Overkill, Sepultura, man, those guys have stayed true to their roots in thrash metal. I know Sepultura is more kind of on the thrash death metal side, but those bands have both stayed true to their roots. Those guys, Death Angels one, Testament, and it brings me like great joy to see that. It's just awesome to see these bands. They never parted from what they're and what's happened is they've built up such a hardcore following that they're always going to make music and always going to have make a living doing that. So it's cool. Sacred Reich, dude. Yes, Sacred Reich's awesome, man. Yeah. Uh, Cemetery Gates is still what I would consider a masterpiece. Absolute. Cemetery Gates is haunting. It's awesome. It's just great. Yeah, Liam. I knew that about Pantera when they first started. I'm like, nope, we're metal. They switched real quick, dude. Man. Yeah, like when I started out though, I wasn't playing metal. I was talking to one of my best friends, Tom, who he's the one I got my Ibanez from many years ago. But we were talking, and he's like, when I first met you, he's like, you weren't even playing metal, dude. You're playing more like '80s rock, and that's what my band was. I was in a band called The Guys, and we're just playing more like rock. I listened to metal, and I played metal like in my room and stuff. But when we went out to play our band, we just played more rock stuff. It was kind of, which was, if I could go back in time, I always tell my friends that I have two very close friends that we all live in different places, but we're all three kind of still best friends to this day. Your long lasting friends are really your close and best friends. Keep those people close. You don't want to lose that, you know. But anyway, so we still keep in touch, but I failed our band. I failed the guys, and I was trying to pull us in a direction when really we should have been going a different direction. I was the lead singer and the lead guitar player, and really what I should have done back then was just gave the lead singing to someone else and focused on guitar and went a little bit heavier. But what happened was I catered my guitar style to the limitations back then I had as a singer, and it was kind of working, but it was just one of those things. It's like I failed us, and I tell those guys, well, about once a year I'll get a little drunk and call them up. It's like, guys, I'm so sorry, man. It's my fault. I screwed up the band. And like, dude, get over it. But it is though. It's one of those things I still carry to this day. It's like, man, we could have gone somewhere with what we were doing had I dropped my pride a little bit and just said, you know what, like let's get a real singer for this. Let me play a little bit heavier and just focus on guitar, because my friend Eddie was playing bass, Tom was playing guitar, and all that good stuff. Levent, thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. I sing some death metal now, but I wasn't singing death metal back then. It was more like I was trying to sing rock, but I'm limited in my what do you call it, in my range, big time. So that's just that, man. I mean, dude, Liam, your uncle's in a hard rock band called Versus. That's a cool name for a band. Emmett, what's up? I see you on there, man. Murder in the Front Row. I'm reading my Bitch Stains thing here. Dude, Dale is on. Guys, I want to give a shout out to the dude who just joined, Self Publishing with Dale. Dale and I met. It almost sounds like, hey, we met each other and fell in love. It wasn't like that, but, well, kind of. But anyway, Dale and I met a long time ago through YouTube. I think I made a comment on one of his videos. I want to bring this up real quick because I was getting ready to write a book. Most of you on here have my book, Heavy Metal and Weights. So you guys have that, and of course, thank you, by the way, for getting that. But when I was writing the book, I didn't know what I was doing. I was looking to publish the book. So I needed help, so I started looking up videos. I came across Dale. I made a comment on one of his videos, and then from there we started chatting. He looked at my channel and saw I was a guitar player. He plays guitar as well. Dale, I think you have a Les Paul. I can't remember what you have, but anyway, so that's how Dale and I met. And Dale actually helped me get my first book out there. That book is published on Amazon. I have it on Kindle. I have it on what else? The paperback and Kindle. Get my words mixed up here. And this is only my first beer. So guys, real quick, my internet, I can see your comments here, but okay, you've got Epiphone Nighthawk, Dale. I can see your comments on my camera here, but at the time I can't read them on my computer because we have this storm going on. So this will refresh for a little bit here. So I'm going to catch up on the latest comments. If you're typing right now, I'll catch up, I promise. So Paul, the last comment I see is Paul's comment. He was told to learn classic rock cover songs because nobody appreciates metal music. Can you believe that? How can they not appreciate metal music, dude? The classic rock songs are good though. There's here's the thing, and I think we talked about recording a while back. The way those songs were recorded, and I'm trying to keep on some of your Liam, I'll get to that. The way they were recorded back then, there was a magic to that. You know what I mean? There was some lost magic. There's some lost liveliness that you got with some of the older music. Even getting into the metal, like listen to Master of Puppets. That song came on in the gym this morning. It came on my little playlist I have, and I was like, wow. Just listening to the recording, Sure, it's not as polished as what you hear out there today, but also it doesn't sound like everything else you hear out there today. So that's a huge thing, man. That's very much a huge thing for me at least. But the classic rock songs I think are good to learn, but metal's good to learn as well. I mean, metal, of course, the metal is a little bit more difficult to play. Obviously, it's more difficult to play that. So, you're going. I truly believe you're going to enhance your skills, a little more playing metal music as you would with classic rock. Okay, I'm back on here, guys. I think so anyway. I get commercials on my own videos. This is crazy. All right, now I can catch up to you guys. Yes, Dale, we fell in love, dude. I'm catching up now. And thank you, guys. Thank you so much, by the way, for helping me hit the 10,000 subscriber mark. I've talked about this, and I won't overdo it here. I'm not really getting caught up in the numbers thing because I'm very thankful for each and every one of you on here right now, and I'm thankful for everybody who's ever subscribed to my channel. I know there's guitar players that have way more, but there's great guitarists that have way less. I'm just very, very happy and thankful for all of you guys, supporting me in this channel. So it means a lot to me. It really does. Dale, thank you, dude. Yes. Thank you so much, Dale. Dale just gave me 20 bucks, guys. That's awesome. Like I said, I have the super chat available now, guys. If you want to donate, that's awesome. The proceeds will be going towards my new album that I'm working on right now. I had Cameron Fleury. He's going to be doing the metal drumming on this instrumental metal album I'm releasing. It will be this year, but I've already got him in his studio doing drums. So he's recording those for me now, which is very cool. He's so amazing. Dale, dude, thank you so much, dude. It's actually the biggest donation I've ever gotten. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I got to meet Dale in person, by the way. He's up north in Columbus, I believe, Columbus, Ohio, and I got to meet him and his wife. My wife and I had dinner with them. They were in Tampa just doing like a little vacation. I can't remember if it was a honeymoon or if it was. I think it was your honeymoon. Not honeymoon. I'm sorry. I think it was your anniversary. I get those mixed up. Oh man. But yeah. Anyway, so Dale has been awesome supporter of my music and just awesome friend and supporter of just the type of business that we're both into. Because Dale, he works for himself as well. So I will say, if you have ever even considered writing your own book or just writing in general, go to Dale's YouTube channel, guys. And like I back this with all my heart, and put it all on the line because the videos he has, you will be like, okay, I'm working on my book now. So I actually want to put out another book. I just haven't had time to write. But if you guys have ever, I know all of you are creative because you play music, but if you've ever had that inkling to write and publish your own book, again, it's self-publishing with Dale. He's right there. Click on his channel and subscribe to that and watch his videos because it's ridiculously crazy. You know what I mean? How helpful his videos are in helping you. And I'm not talking about going to a publisher to publish your book. I'm talking about you publishing your own book. So that's what this just like me publishing my own music. We live in. I'll tell you this real quick. We still haven't gotten to our topic. I'm getting there. But the thing is, in today's world, you don't want somebody publishing your crap because they're getting a big percentage of whatever you put out there. You do the hard work, and then half the time, these publishing companies, whether it be for books or music, they're not even marketing your product. You're still having to market it. So you're like, okay, my stuff sells. When it sells, you get this huge chunk of it. What the hell? So no, in today's world, today the rules are different. You have to do it on your own. You don't do everything by yourself, and you get help. Like I have a real drummer recording my drum tracks. But as far as putting it out there, you need to own those rights to that. And so if you're working on a book, you need to publish it. If you're working on music, you need to publish that. You need to do everything independently these days and just, outsource the little things you need help with. Like Dale connected me with somebody, his assistant, who was really good at editing. So she edited my book and it was very reasonable. So yeah, that was I remember when that book was published. I was in New York City. It was my first time in New York City. My wife and I, and I'm like, "Hey, my book is published today." I think it was December. What was it? I don't remember. I think it was that first weekend in December in 2017. So it was pretty cool. Dale, yeah, tell your wife to come on. She can drop some hundos, dude. Hey, I won't complain. Then I can get beer and the rest of the drum tracks done. uh, so Craig, dude, Project Bass Guitar 777. Thank you for being on here, man. I know you came on a little late. I'm buying the beer proceeds to go to my bladder. Yeah. Um, no, dude, you know, all the proceeds on here on anything I get donation wise, in all seriousness, that will definitely go to this new album because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get the album paid for before I even release it. That's just a smart way to do business. I mean, you know, if you can do that. So, yeah, DW, I'm always going to hit you up with connections, dude. You guys are in a good spot here, you know. And I'm in a good spot here as well because I have you guys watching with me. So I want to what this video is about. I always like to include a topic on these live videos. I know we just kind of hang around and chat, which is cool. I love it. It's awesome. But one of the things I want to talk about is amp modeling. We're talking about amp modeling, but amp modeling hardware versus amp modeling software. And I want to get your thoughts on that. What I mean by that, and just for those who are kind of new, um, you know, the amp modeling hardware are things like the Pod HD 500. I mean, I used that on my very first album, which sounds crazy, but like the tones, I've had so many compliments on the guitar tones for that album. I spent a lot of time dialing it in, but that so HD 500. Think of Kemper, the Kemper. Think of the Axe FX, the New Line 6 Helix. Those are your hardware modeling units. But then you've got amp modeling software or plugins like Neural DSP, what else is out there? My mind's going blank. Positive Grids, Bias, you know, Guitar Rig, and all that stuff. So, what are your thoughts? What do you guys play with the most? Tell me, is it a hardware piece you have, or is it mostly software? And acoustic, holy crap, dude! What are you guys trying to do? One up each other? Then thank you, man. Seriously, dude. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. That's awesome. So, hey, if I raise $150 in here, that'd be for another drum track. That's how much. I don't want to say this out loud, even though I've already said it. I don't want to say it out loud because you know the prices could change. But my drummer buddy Cameron, you know, I think his rate right now, because he told me his rates, which I think I'm okay to tell you this, is like I think it's $40 for, man, I don't remember now, guys. Anyway, it equates to like a full song being about $160. So I've got about $160 times. I suck at math. I've got about $160 times, I think, 13 tracks. One track may be an acoustic track, so I won't have drums on that. I'll actually hire somebody else to do some bongo type stuff for that. But so I think I've budgeted about $2,000 for drums total. I've got another $2,000 going into the mixing and mastering part of it, and that kind of covers the album for the most part because I do everything else myself. But then for the marketing piece, I'm planning on doing some really big things for marketing, so I'm trying to raise another 5 to 6K for that. So my goal is to raise $10,000 over the next few months total. And I know that sounds like a lot, but really from everything I'm doing, it's not. You know, when you think about the drums, when you hire drums are tough, and I would never even attempt to play them myself. Drums are really tough, man. So, and for a drummer to have an awesome drum set up in a studio, his own studio, to where it's room the room is efficient for recording the mics, the actual recording of it, having to get it right, and then having to dump the files down. And plus, he's playing songs he's never heard before, so he's got to spend time listening to my songs. So I mean, he probably spends an hour each song. And you may be thinking, well, hey, $160 for an hour's work, that's not bad. It's not bad, but then there's recurring costs for him as well. There's upkeep, there's upgrade, there's the real estate he has to pay for to have his studio. So all those things considered, Dale, you're absolutely right. That's extremely reasonable. I think it's $40 a minute I think that's what it is. Yeah, so a 4 minute song would be $160, and most of my songs are like a little, either a little over 3 minutes up to a little over four, so something like that. And yeah, Cryptic, you bring a good point. The metal, this album's not gonna be death metal. It's gonna be metal, but there's also going to be some Satriani, some old school Satriani type vibes too. There's also going to be some, like, you're going to hear some old Metallica influences, some Megadeth influences. You're going to even hear some old, maybe even going back to like Queensryche and Dokken and that sort of thing in there too. A lot like it's almost like Apocalyptic Dreams is going to meet some hardcore melodic death metal. You know what I mean? So that's yeah, Dale. Yeah, when you start tracking again, do get in touch, because yeah, this is my usual drummer, Cameron. He's big on. You can look up Cameron Fleury. I'm just gonna type his name in, guys, real quick in the comments. I'm glad my internet's not down. I think the storm has passed, so I might even be able to jump in the pool tonight. Cameron's pretty big on YouTube. I think he's got, like, I don't know, 15, 20,000 followers or something like that, subs. Uh, but you can hear stuff. But he recorded the drum tracks on Masterpiece, guys. He recorded those drum tracks, and I know all you on here have heard Masterpiece. But I can't, like, I could praise him all day, man, because he's that good. And the thing is I was kind of auditioning other drummers to record on the album, and guys, it was so difficult, man. I just could not find it. And the drummers, so those of you who have not heard this album, if you haven't heard this album, I'm gonna be a little upset. So if you haven't heard it yet, just pretend you have. Don't tell me, but go listen to it. I just posted the link. What's up, Raymond? What's up, dude? Yeah, Liam, Master of Justice, the Lightning. I like that, dude. That's awesome. But yeah, so the link I just posted, guys, that goes to my album, Masterpiece, and you will hear Cameron Fleury's drumming on that. That's awesome. Um, my bitch Sustain. So the guy from Obscura charges for bass tracks. He did a few years ago. His rate, not sure, but okay, cool. That's I'll have to get in touch with you on that. I'm planning to do my own bass tracks. There's certain things I'm kind of picky about. I've even got somebody ready to mix the album when it's done, but I warn them ahead of time. It's like, don't be offended if I like my own mix better, because it's happened in the past. I've actually paid people to mix my music, and then I get it back, and it's just, we go back and forth, and I end up using my own mix. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I'm pretty good at it. Look, I suck at a lot of things in life, so I'm not being. This is not ego Jason talking. I have very little ego these days, but there's a lot of things I suck at. Like doing housework. I hire that out because I will screw it up bad. You know what I mean? Like drumming. There's no way I can play drums. So you have to take. I will say this: you have to take your strengths and use those and be confident in those, but also realize the things that you're not so great at, and get somebody that's professional at those things to come in, and you put that together, you've got magic, dude. You have got complete magic. It's awesome. So DW, thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. DW says I'm up there with Jared Dines, Jamie Schlaze. I don't even know who that is. Stevie T, I know. Said Jared. I mean, I've never heard Jared Dines even play guitar that much. I know he's an awesome guitar player. Stevie T's pretty. He's a really good guitar player. He does a lot of good stuff. Acoustic, just play Apocalyptic Dream solos again, but backwards. Oh my god, I can't even remember them forward. I'm seriously, guys. I'm gonna do a live show probably the week after next, because I've still got to, like, put the files together. The drum tracks were missing, so I'm having to do a workaround for that, which I have. But I'm just doing that so I can play with that in the background, and I can solo along with it. But I've got to learn my solos again. I've got to learn at least the basic formats. It shouldn't be that hard though. It shouldn't be that hard for me, because a lot of those songs that I wrote for my first album, I had already been working on for several years. So you know, Ahmed feels bad for me. He's like, Jason wants to drink beer, but he keeps talking. It's like, wait, guys, I got something else to say. Oh, no, something else. That's awesome. Cold beer. Yeah, cold beer help on that. Yeah, gotta keep the lips moist for sure, dude. This is a good beer, by the way, guys. Again, it's called Beach Hippie. I love that name, Beach Hippie IPA. And look at this, dude. It's seven. The funny thing is 7.1%, but the bitterness rating is only 51.7, and that's pretty low for an IPA. I love a lot of things in life, guys, but one of the things I just absolutely head over heels in love with, my wife, of course, and you guys, but I'm in love with craft beer. There's just some, I don't know, man. There's just something about craft beer, and this is a really good one too. There, sometimes I get an IPA, I'm like, that's not, we'll have to pass on that next time. That's why a lot of times I'll just buy one or two of something, because a lot in places here, I don't know how it is where you guys live, but a lot of places here, craft beer places, they will let you actually take one off of the 6 pack thing, and you pay a little bit more, for the beers that way, obviously. But if you want to try different beers, that's the way to do it. Because there's nothing worse than getting like a 6 pack of something. It's like, oh, this is new. I wanted to try it, but it's not that good. um, Whiskey Jack. Hey, what are you drinking, Whiskey Jack? Most people have already named their beers already. Faceless, yeah, dude. There's something magical about steak and beer, dude. Especially, I actually like a porter beer with a steak. That goes real good. Now, especially if you're eating a porterhouse steak. I didn't intend for that to be in a pun, but it works. Man, but steak and cold one. Matthias, did you just drink beer from alcoholic beverages? I don't understand that question, Matthias. I'm sorry, dude. Live streaming tech, what's up, man? I think that's the. Wait a minute. Sorry, I can't see the. It's hard for me to see the images. That's your brother. That's right. Okay, I was trying to. I'm like, I almost. I'm like, I think that's Dale's brother. So Dale's brother's on, dude. Thank you for joining. By the way, for those of you who have not, who have never been on here before, for this live, this is something we do most every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we call it Chops and Hops because we talk about guitar stuff and we talk about hops, what beer we're drinking. We don't talk about hops that much. I just kind of put that in there because a lot of you folks drink beer. Not everybody on here drinks beer, and that's okay. And usually we just pick a topic, but we kind of go off and just start chatting organically about whatever that's guitar related. So it's really really cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you for the support here. We love doing this, man. This is so much fun. Sometimes some of you are probably just doing other stuff, just listening, and it's just kind of cool to. It's just like I said, we're hanging out together. I feel like you guys are in the studio with me right now, which we've got a few watching. So we would be hot in here, man. You get a lot of people in a closed in space like this in Florida weather in June. Doesn't matter if the AC's on or not, it's hot. Oh man. So Craig, Project Bass and Guitar 777, all the way in Australia, dude. I've got to come visit you someday in Australia, man. Seriously, dude. You're drinking Skull Skull 500 ml cans, non-alcoholic beer, so you slam more down while practicing and not get wasted. I tell you this though, dude. I rarely ever like get. I mean, I'll get tipsy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't really drink at all to get drunk. I truly enjoy the taste of craft beer, which is why there's certain beers I won't drink. You know what I mean? So that's just. Yeah, so DW, I know. Yeah, sometimes you stay straight edge. I know. Dale doesn't drink at all. Straight edge, dude, and his brother as well. And that, like I said, that's we chops and hops is just it kind of rhymed. I used to do this series called Metal and Beer. So, you know what? While we're just hanging out here, why don't we do this real quick? Today, when I went to try out the amp, which you guys will see the video tomorrow on the orange amp, it's pretty freaking awesome, man. That amp was great. but I want you guys to hear something. Let me know if this sounds muddy. It should. One second. So I broke out this guitar. This is one of my favorite guitars, guys. This is so it's muddy acoustic. You know, I think that's because I think it's because of where my mic is, dude. This is my LTD M1000 Deluxe, by the way. I think it's because of where my mic. Like I said, guys, I like to show you guys what I'm using. I'm using this little lapel mic here, and again, normally what you guys hear is coming out of those monitors back here, and I'm using plugins, and the mic's kind of facing that way. It just picks up my voice real good from here, and plus that sounds. But my amp that I'm playing through is over here. You guys can't see it, so that's probably why it sounds a little muddy. So I apologize for that, but I'll have it fixed. The reason I'm not using my computer though is because we've had outages and such, and I've got that kind of on like sleep mode right now. So if the power went out, I'd rather it go out on my amp than in the middle of that thing being on. So anyway, that's that. We had a bad thunderstorm earlier, so you know. All right, Dale, no drugs, dude. Whiskey Jack, I'm just scrolling back up to catch up on the comments, guys. I don't, yeah, I typically I don't drink in the studio, so uh, I say that, and you see some beer cans over there because I have a Metal and Beer Instagram. I think some of you guys follow that. Yeah, just look up Metal and Beer on Instagram, and there you have it. And sometimes I'll record some music while I'll just have a beer sitting there, and I'll tag the beer company or whatever. It's just something I do for fun sometimes, but. Um, yeah, I typically if I'm recording music because alcohol does affect your ability to take in sound effectively. So if I'm recording music or if I'm mixing or anything like that, there is absolutely no alcohol in the studio. If I'm just jamming or practicing or whatever, or even sometimes if I'm writing, sometimes I drink beer when I'm writing. Like I do a lot of blogging as well. You guys know I have the fitness blog, and I even blog on the music channel as well. So drinking, I won't get drunk, but I'll drink some, and it kind of just helps my creative process. For everybody's different. Um, it's me even this. I'm trying to read your name, dude. Oh, Seventh Seal. I got it now, dude. It's me, Seventh Seal. And I saw your comment on Neural DSP plugin. So right now, dude, that was just the Fender Mustang amp. You can't even see it. It's back over there. And again, I think that's why it sounds muddy because of where the amp is placed. So I will fix that next time. I promise. Next time, of course, next week you'll probably hear me playing through the Neural DSP plugins, one of those plugins. So that's what you'll hear. Live streams text like, yeah, you and Dale. I bet you and Dale did drink enough back in the day to last probably 3 lifetimes, dude. I sensed that. I don't know. You guys are so cool though, man. And Whiskey Jack loves the beer. Yep, yep, yep. All right. I'm just catching up here, guys. My bitch Sustained's got some coffee and diet green tea. Dude, I'm a coffee. I love coffee, man. I mean, some people say caffeine's horrible for you, and probably too much of it. I probably drink too much of it, and I don't know what it is, but I love coffee. I just love it. You know what I mean? I like drinking green teas and stuff like that. I just don't drink it a whole lot. Captivating cats. Now, how could you miss the last few chops and hops, captivating cats? Hey, life happens sometimes, dude. I get it. But yeah, that was my, I'm just looking through the other comments here. That was my Fender Mustang amp, and like I said, that's a, like, if you were in the room, it would probably sound a lot better. But that's a really solid amp, dude. It sounds so good, you know. Yeah, faceless, dude. That Fenster Princeton. I if it's the one I'm thinking about, it's a 112, and I had it a long, long time ago, or had something similar to it. But I have played through a Princeton, even if the one I had back then is not it. Memory's foggy, but those do, man. Those do have some just amazing clean sounds. I'll tell you though, I'm probably going to use my Fender Mustang cleans. I'll mic it, for this album. I've got some clean stuff, Uh, I'll probably be using that a little bit as well. Raymond's asking best amp besides EVH. You guys may want to answer that. Answer Raymond. What's your favorite amp? What's the best live amp you've played through? I will say trailing right behind my EVH is that orange rocker verb I played through today at Replay Guitar Exchange. Man, I was just really like, I played the Black Star. You guys saw my review on the Black Star amp, the Black Star Club HT40. That was like 2 weeks. No, that was like 4 weeks ago. Um, that was an okay amp for practice, but it's not something I would gig with. It's not something I would, I wouldn't even buy it because it's just, anyway, you get it. I don't want to say it sucks, but but the orange rocker verb, man, it just, the thing I like about the orange amps, I don't know, people either love them or just dislike them very much. You know what I mean? There's not like a lot of middle of the road. It's like, I don't want to play through an orange amp, it sucks, or I love it. I'm on the I love it side for this particular amp anyway. And because the distortion just, dude, the distortion was just so there, just so great. And one of my tests for amps, for like a real tube amp, is do I need that overdrive in front of the amp to clean it up? Like on a Macy, Macy's Parade, Mesa, on a Mesa Boogie rectifier. I mean, they're awesome amps, yes, but you've got to have that little overdrive pedal, turned down to clean it up to get a good tone. So my tests with modern amps that are made today is, do I need it? EVH, I don't need that. In fact, when I turn that overdrive on, it takes away from the amp, and I'm like, nope, turn it off. Same with the orange rocker verb. And again, you guys will see that video tomorrow. I have it scheduled to post tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. You're probably asking, well, Jason, why so early, dude? And that's just because you guys are all over the world, man. I didn't want to post it today because, I like to put it out there and let you guys know, hey, this is out there. And I didn't want that to compete with what we're doing right now, if that makes sense, because I have to put this out there on Facebook and Instagram. And I think a lot of you guys are in my Metal Guitar Players group, Facebook group. If you're not, look that up. Just look up Metal Guitar Players group and you'll see it. And just click, join. But anyway, there's a lot of people that's got some cool stuff in there. All right, chocolate milk, dude. Chocolate milk's awesome. I love chocolate milk, man. I had chocolate ice cream last night. Liam, the metal zone. Liam's asked me what I think about the metal zone pedal. The funny thing is that pedal has been around for so long, dude. It's wow. I loved it when I played through it when I was younger because it was just pure metal. But later, I would have no reason to use it now because especially playing through a tube amp, and if you're practicing or something like that, I think it's good to have if you're starting out. If you have, like, let's say you buy a cheap crappy amp because you're just starting to play guitar and you want a metal tone from it, buy that metal zone, boom, problem solved. So it's good for that kind of thing. Yeah, whiskey Jack. I'm the same way, dude. I like to have a little beer buzz when I'm writing. It just yeah. I'm not saying I need that, but I like it. You know what I mean? Acoustic, is it open back amp or half open back? I think it's half open back, dude. I didn't even. I totally forgot. I'm catching up with you guys here. So DW is saying another best amp is the Randall amps. I've never played through a Randall amp, not any of the modern day Randall amps. Ahmed, to answer Ahmed's question, the best practice amp that, and this is my opinion, the best practice amp and the most cost effective practice amp that's going to give you a good tone in the bedroom or in a small place is the Fender Mustang 4 amp. Now I know I did not give you a good demonstration on that just now that's because of where I have the mic here and all that good stuff. So again, I'll fix that next time. But I think that's a phenomenal amp. Actually, if you go on my YouTube channel after this video, if you can remember, type in Jason Stallworth Fender Mustang. You'll see about 4 or 5 videos pop up and you can hear for yourself. And how I recorded each of those videos was not direct. I actually mic'd the amp, old school, with the Shure SM57 mic. Boom, recorded it and it sounds phenomenal. Oh, Dale, the JCM 900, dude. I was just reading an article by Joe Satriani. It's in the latest Guitar World magazine, the one that has Jared Dines on the cover with his acoustic, and there's a Joe Satriani article in there as well. In it, I love reading Joe's stuff. I love reading his stuff because, I've even got his book. I think it's in the other room. Strange, Beautiful Music. The thing about Joe Satriani, and this is why I love him so much, is because he is all about the music, guys. Like you read his memoir, his biography, and it's not, well, I was getting high, I was trying to score crack. Like you read Dave Mustaine's book, you read Slash's book, and I love those books. Don't get me wrong, I'm fans of those people, but it's all about getting high and scoring chicks or whatever, whatever. It's like everything but music. You read Joe Satriani's autobiography, and it's like he is married to music. It is his passion. It is his true. I almost think that these other guys that made it big just kind of chance, right place, right time. Joe Satriani made it big, which is very difficult with just instrumental music to be as big as he is. Let's think about that. But he made it big because that's all he did. So it's just so refreshing to read his interviews and that sort of thing. I had a point I was going to make. Oh, I was looking at Dale's amp, the Marshall JCM 900 he was talking about. And, of course, Joe Satriani's a big Marshall guy as well. I think his is the JVM, but I know he's played through the JCM on some albums. So that just reminded me of that. All right. Acoustic does not do Facebook. Oh, Faceless, you bring up a good point. The Boss Katana, I've never played through one, but from what I'm hearing from other people, I know Kevin Fassard got one. You guys know I did a collaboration with him last year. The bodybuilder guy, huge. I mean, he's like twice my size, man, and far more ripped. Ice cream and beer doesn't really get you ripped, but hey. So, Bitch Sustain, you've got a dual rectifier with EL34s. I don't think I've ever heard a rectifier with that. I thought they all had 6L6, and I'm assuming you changed them out. DW had Tex-Mex tacos last night. You made him some great tacos. It's in your blood as a Latino. Dude, I love pretty much every type of Latin music. One of our favorite places to go is this place called El Puerto, and it's an Argentinian place. And dude, they make the best churrasco, the best chimichurri, and it's so so good, dude. All right, Paul. So Paul is asking me. He's got a question on the Masterpiece album. He's asked me what is the name of the melody guitar effect on your tracks 8 and 9 for Masterpiece. So track 8. What is track 8? Track 8 is Wings of Destruction, I believe. I gotta look at this, guys. The Masterpiece album. I still have a few CDs left, by the way. If you guys go to jasonstallworthshop.com, I just dropped my CD. I'll throw this in here real quick. I always like to give you guys links because, when people call out a website, I know when people tell me, hey, go to this site, and then later I just totally forget about it. So I just put it in the description there. But you can go there. Let me grab this real quick. So Wings of Destruction is track 8, and Final Rain is the final song. I did not intend for that to be a pun. It just kind of happened that way. But anyway, so I'm trying to think of the effects I used, dude. So Final Rain starts out with an acoustic. Let me know exactly what part of the song you're talking about, and I'll be able to answer your question. Um, all right. So you can switch. Bitch is saying you can switch between the 6L6 and the L34. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, definitely an ice cream beer, no, dude. The JCM is is extremely versatile. And yeah, bitch is saying you bring up a good point. Satch taught he taught Steve Vai, he taught several people. I think he even taught Kirk Hammett, and he raised up a lot of really good guitar players. Whiskey Jack, yeah, Farsard is a super good dude. He's such a cool guy. Ola England sent him a guitar. It just showed up in the mail one day. I don't know if you guys caught that video, but go to Kevin Farsard's page and check that out. That's really cool. All right, guys, I've got to read your comments up close. This is like the second time this has happened. My MacBook just froze up. So Liam, your favorite amp is the Rev. The Rev. I have not played through a Rev yet. I got to move this a little bit closer. My MacBook Pro has been freezing up. It happens about once a month, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but it happens. Hey, technology's not perfect. So I can see your comments if you're typing like right now and something comes up, I can see it, but I can't. I'm just rebooting my MacBook here. See, I got away from PC for this reason. This is one of like the 10 reasons, but anyways, this is one of them. And I think my wife and I went Apple about 4 or 5 years ago. Paul, I don't listen to Korn, dude, so I still don't know what effect that is. I'm sorry, man. Now, if you're talking about the dueling solos, when you hear it sound like two guitar solos, if that's what you're talking about, that's actually not an effect. If that's what you're talking about, how I do that is, and somebody just posted a question about the Boss Katana amp, so you guys can answer that because that's I've never played through that before. Levant Marshall amps are awesome, dude. Read Dell's self-publishing with Dell's post there, because he's played through that. All right, we're coming back up here, guys. Here we go. So my MacBook froze up. I just like did a hard reboot and boom, we're back up. That's how fast this thing is. All right, so now I can kind of catch up here. Livio, thanks for joining me. So thank you for your comment on the tutorials. Yes, I have used Overloud. Livio, if you go to my YouTube and you type in, or go to my channel, and then you type in Overloud, you'll see a video come up. Or just if you just do a search, just type in my name, Jason Stallworth, and Overloud, you'll see the video. But I didn't. I only used it for a little bit, dude. So I can't really give you a true opinion on that for just having not used it that long. Let me fix this. You guys want to see the top of my head, right? And you want to see some of those cool crosses on the Master of Puppets poster there. That's a cloth poster, by the way. Check that out. I found that a long time ago, man. And I'm like, this is going right over my studio because that poster is there. I mean, it's Master of Puppets. Obviously, it's there for that because that's awesome. But it's there because that album specifically, and the Justice album, is what really sparked my interest to play guitar back in 1989. This is a long time ago, dude. I'm like old as dirt. Some of you guys are older than me. I won't say what your age is. No, but seriously, that album is key to me. I want to meet those guys someday. I really do. But yes, Levio, check out my Overloud. I don't even remember what I put out there, dude, to be honest with you. And Paul, yes, I'm looking at your comment again. I'm not sure. I don't know if I answered your question, Paul, about the dueling guitar solos. I think I got sidetracked. But when I record things that sound like two things harmonizing, what I do is I'll record one guitar, and then I'll pan it all the way left, and then I'll record another guitar, pan it all the way right. That's how I record all my rhythm tracks, by the way. A lot of you know this, but some of you don't. When I record my guitar rhythms, this is my secret sauce, guys. I'm telling you right now. This is my secret to recording. And you do this, and your tracks will sound just amazing. So I record two rhythm guitar tracks. I do one guitar, I record it, the rhythm all the way through. I hard pan it left. So when you hear it with headphones, it's just in this ear. Is that left? I get confused sometimes. And then I record a second guitar track. I don't duplicate the guitar. I record a completely different guitar track, hard pan it all the way right so you hear it here. Sometimes those guitars will harmonize, and that's why I do that. But even if they don't harmonize for that particular song, it makes the mix just so full because you've got the bass guitar up the middle, and of course you got your drums panned all over the place, and if you got your lead guitars up the middle as well. So it makes for a very tight sounding album or song, and it's just that's my secret recording sauce. Now, sometimes I will do guitar solos the same way. Most of the time, just one solo's up the middle. But when it sounds like two guitars, I'm using that method. I'm playing this guitar panned over here, the melody, and then I pan the other guitar over here, and that's playing the harmony. So when you hear it, it's like, holy crap. Now that again, that's my secret sauce. That sounds so much better and so much more organic than using, let's say, a pitch shift effect or something like that. So hopefully that makes sense. There is Wings of Destruction, I think, track number 8. There is a part in the bridge where I do some kind of eerie thing, and I've got a little bit of like reverb delay on it, like a little ambient. I love ambient style stuff, by the way, so I'm typically putting that kind of stuff in there. So yeah. Yeah, Faceless, it's an awesome way to record, dude. It does so much, man, for your recordings. It's. All right, I'm catching up here again, guys. Yeah, we had close to 30 on here, Liam. The group grows a little bit every week. And again, I never want you guys to think I'm only about the numbers. We gotta get like 2,000 people in here. I kind of like it staying small. I'm not saying other people can't come in. Of course they can, but I do kind of like just a few of us that are really engaged in here. And I know some of you are doing other things too, and that's okay. Just being on here is fine. It helps my channel. I'll be honest with you. So yeah, I like that. But I like genuinely enjoy chatting with you guys. That's why we sometimes go 2 hours doing this, man. We're already like almost an hour and a half into it. But it doesn't feel like it because we're just hanging out, man. Hanging out, drinking warm beer. It's like I peed in this now. It's warm. I'm kidding. That was gross. We always say, don't pee in our pool. We don't swim in your toilet. Oh, man. Yeah, Master of Puppets, dude. It's just crazy. Dale says Master of Puppets was the cassette. Dale, could you please explain what a cassette is? I'm just kidding, dude. That's what I had. We didn't have CDs. I think Dale's a lot younger than me, but when I bought these albums, we didn't have CDs. I mean, a lot of stuff was still on vinyl back in those days, so it was very. I don't know, man. There's just something about the cassettes and the vinyl that's just like, oh, look at this. It's like an ancient artifact now. But Dale, you said you'd already been into Anthrax. Yeah, when you hear Puppets, when you hear that album, you're sold, dude. It's as a metalhead, it's like, man, everything kind of goes back to that. Like when you listen to metal, even some of the modern stuff, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of the modern stuff, and don't take offense to that if you are. It's just a matter of taste. I mean, again, I probably like some types of metal you guys might not like too, but even the modern stuff, they all root back to that album. It's crazy, dude. Whiskey Jack, I'm sorry to hear about your Puppets poster getting lost, dude. That sucks. It's not cool. Captivating Cats, it is very good to see us into the same music, man. It's really cool, dude. Wow. Dale, that was a magic moment if you found that, dude. That's crazy. Oh, we are the same age. Okay. Yeah, I turned 45 in that's right, I turned 45 in May. So that means you're not quite 45 yet. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you guys something encouraging though. I I like getting older. As crazy as that sounds. A lot of people are so afraid of it. Here's the thing. I know I'm saying this as I got a beer in my hand talking about eating ice cream. I stay healthy for the most part, though. I joke about this stuff a lot. But here's the thing. If you do some sort of movement every day, you don't even have to lift weights. I love lifting weights. I enjoy it. Some people hate it and it doesn't matter, but do something active, every single day, guys. Do not let a day go by just because some of you have desk jobs, and you sit all day, which is really, really not good for you. But, you got to get up. I'm a big fan of yoga. I started doing yoga about 2 or 3 years ago, and actually, I haven't done yoga in like 3 days. I'll probably do that tonight before I jump in the pool. But, I try to do yoga at least 5 times a week. I aspire to do it every day, but I do something active every day. Sometimes I mow the lawn. I did that 2 days ago. No, yesterday. But lifting weights, whatever you do something active every day. And just, I'm not a big, I'm not going to get into the nutrition advice because there's so many different philosophies that conflict, and you've got this dude over here that's super jacked saying you got to eat this way, but this person over here is super jacked too. He eats a completely different way. What I will say is eat sensible. That's all I will say. You know, eat sensible. Do what works for you. The best diet to have is one that you can follow. Because the worst thing you can do is like, I'm gonna go this hardcore diet. Then you fall off the wagon and then punish yourself like for 5 days by eating just crap. So just do what's sensible to you is what I can tell you. And do your research. Read about this stuff, and be active. You do those things and keep your stress level as low as you possibly can, and you're gonna be okay. Getting older, what I'm leading to here is getting older is not really that bad. You guys saw my flex picture. I flexed. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, I posted some. I usually don't post flex pictures because that's kind of cheesy, but I was like, I just felt good. And I even had ice cream last night. But I just felt really good. So I'm like, I'm 45 years old. I'm feeling really, really good. So anyway, yeah, put acoustic portion control. It's just real. That kind of stuff's not complicated. And actually, Dale, I don't know if Dale's still on, but Dale is actually a personal trainer, and he's got a lot of knowledge and more knowledge than I have in that industry because he's a certified personal trainer, and he's got a lot of. I think Dale's actually vegan, by the way, so that works really well for him. You know what I mean? Um, so anyway, just do what's sensible to you. That's all I'll say about that. And if you do those things, getting older is not so bad. Like I said, I enjoy getting older. One thing about getting older is you don't make some of the dumb mistakes you made like in your 20s and stuff. Like drugs and drinking too much, stuff like that. Yeah, you may drink too much from time to time, whatever. But anyway, all that said, getting older is not bad. Just make sure as you get older, and this is kind of like my motivational speech, real quick here. As you get older, one thing you will realize is you want to limit your regrets. And we all have regrets. I know people say live with no regrets, and that's fun to say. It's kind of cliche to say. I did not mean for that to rhyme. But the fact is, a lot of us do have regrets because there are things we would have done differently if we could go back and do it again. And that's fine, but you want to minimize that, and you kind of want to eliminate that when you're my age. It's like, okay, and what I mean by that is, guys, do what you love to do and go all out. That's what I will tell you. I'm not saying you have to be an entrepreneur. That's a tough life. I'm an entrepreneur right now. I don't have a regular job. It's a very tough life, and that can stress that can cause more damage if you let it, just by the stress, the anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with doing what I do. Trust me. So I have ways to cope with that and deal with that. But what I'm saying is make sure that what you're doing is at least semi enjoyable. If you're working a regular job or whatever, keep your stress low. And if you hate your job, if you're just dreading going, you're like, man, I just can't do this another day, then don't. Well, don't quit tomorrow, but find something else. Make a point to just take time to get something else because there's always better stuff out there, and there's so many different things you can do. So don't worry, be happy. But seriously, that's kind of my getting older advice. Acoustic says he still eats too much. No, Liam, yoga's not impossible, dude. You don't have to do the crazy stuff. I don't do the crazy stuff, man. I mean, I do some crazy stuff. My bitch is saying you're older than me, dude. I didn't know that. I'm catching up here, guys. Acoustic. I need to do what you're doing. I've got some stuff on tape, some old demos from way back. Liam, yoga, you can do it, bro. It's not impossible. I promise you. If I can, I look at things like that, and if I can do it, if I can get into that, anybody can. But it doesn't have to be yoga. What I'm saying is just make sure you do something active. Yoga's great though. So any kind of stretching, and yoga's kind of like some people view it as a spiritual thing, and I'm okay with that too. But you know, yoga's kind of like a mix between. I mean, it's body, mind, and spirit. It really is. It's a mix between deep stretching, which is crucial. I do think that's important, but it's also like a meditative type thing as well. So it's like all the best of that kind of stuff combined. Liam, I'm 45 years old, dude. I just turned 45 and in May last month. Yeah, faceless. You can stand in the back. That's that you can definitely do that. Liam, habla español. I need to learn Spanish. You know, I speak two languages now, but my Spanish is just I need to like get serious about it and learn it. I want to learn Spanish and I want to learn German. So I don't know how further I'll go with languages beyond that, but who knows? You still learning your own language, dude. DW, yeah. You know, DW is hard because I'll tell you this. People my age, you know, people my age grew up in an era where, especially if you grew up in the United States, they were just telling everybody, no, speak English only, speak English only. People would speak their native language because the United States is kind of a melting pot if you think about it, especially where I live now. But, you know, and that just really hurt people later because now we're learning that, well, we've already learned that being bilingual is an awesome thing, man. And it triggers a different part of your brain. I think it's like the mathematical part of your brain, you know, that side of your brain. And it makes you smarter. I'm not saying I'm smarter, but it will make, you know, it just makes you, it opens you up. You know what I mean? So I think learning languages is awesome. I love it. No, 47 is not old at all, Raymond. Dude, 47 is, yeah, it's like the, it's like the 30s, dude. Yep. And you know, guys, who knows, man? With like we become more and more advanced in many ways. You know, every year, and the medical community and all that. Who knows when we get to be 100, we may live to 120. You just never know, man. Because who knows? But the key is just to stay to stay healthy and stay mobile. Because at 45 years old, guys, I see so many people my age and even younger, and it's so sad that they can barely move. You know what I mean? And that's just, nobody should be like that. I do realize that some people do have limitations, you know, genetic limitations. Some people they just got a bad rap when it comes to that. I get it, you know, but for the most part, the majority of people, you can do something to prevent, you know, immobility. So, yeah. Acoustic's 49, dude. I love to see all ages in here. It's cool, man. It really is cool. 47 feels like 22. That's it, dude. Raymond, Jason need to speak Patua. What is that, dude? I don't know what that is. Gotta start somewhere, yep. 41 and 28. Yeah, look, don't let the little belly get to be big belly, Raymond. Just watch it, dude. Because as we get older, that's one thing that's. I mean, I do not have a ripped six pack. I'm not gonna pretend. You know what I mean? But I do like I know when and I'm not competing. I don't compete or anything like that. So I don't. That's not really my goal. But I do know that if my stomach gets to a certain point, and I can feel that in my clothes, I'm like, okay, we'll just up the cardio, and 2 weeks go by, and I'm back down. I know you have to learn your body and kind of know where you're comfortable at, and get to that point and maintain it. Now, if you want to progress, you can do that too. Paul, I do not have any yoga videos on the muscle program. I may be wrong about that, dude. let me see something real quick here. I'm looking something up for you, man, because I actually I actually have something I'm going to post for you guys here. And I may have a video on. I don't think I actually have the video. I think I have other videos on here. So let me give you guys this. This is a good source for yoga, guys. Yoga. I can't spell it. Yoga source. This is on another website I own. I have had this website. I started this back in 2010 or 11. It's called themuscleprogram.com. But if you go to that link I just posted, guys, Yoga Source, that gives you 11 different poses. I call it 11 poses for bodybuilders, but you don't have to be a bodybuilder to do those poses. This is just, you know, it's just simple yoga poses that you can learn how to do, and I tell you how to do it and all that. So, all right, Whiskey Jack speaks Irish as a second language, but it doesn't help outside of Ireland. Dude, that's one language, well, one of many I've never heard before. I always thought Irish spoke English, which they do, of course, but I guess there's like another really deep embedded different type of language that's actually Irish. So I didn't know that, man. So I just learned something new. Yep, Faceless, high risk, high reward, dude. That's it, you know. Yes, muy bien. Irish pubs, dude. Irish beer, muy bien. The Faceless, 3.25 languages and still looking to learn Italian. From what I know, like if you can speak Spanish, then Italian's more, I guess, easier to learn and vice versa. Because there are some similarities. I know a little bit of both, but not much. The good thing about Faceless, about where you're from, dude, over on that side of the world, is the countries over there are a lot smaller, and you've got many different languages you grow up around, and I think that's just amazing. Like if I had a second life to live, I would choose to grow up in Europe somewhere, because you grow up learning. I talked to a girl, a friend I worked with at my old job, and she's young. She's only like 24, but she speaks five fluent languages, or five languages fluently. And I'm like, holy crap. It's like, yeah, we grow up learning all these languages because all the countries are like so close. You have to, if you want to communicate with people, you have to learn them. And obviously, learning at a younger age, that's much easier. But yeah. But yeah, five fluent languages is crazy, dude. And I saw another comment. Somebody wants to learn Japanese. I don't, yeah, that's another language. Asian languages are tough. I speak Thai. It's a tonal language, there's five tones. You can have one word that means four or five different things, and that can get you in trouble. But I'll let you guys know. Sawadee Cup, hello in Thai. So we could go on that, but yeah, it's cool, man. Learning languages is real cool. Okay, Liam, you want to learn Japanese, German, and Italian? That would be, yeah. Those are all cool languages to learn. I was dabbling in Japanese at one point, because a lot of people in Thai that choose to learn other languages, they learn Japanese. Now in Thailand, though, I'll tell you, they push English very, very hard on their people. That's part of their curriculum. If you grow up in Thailand, you're automatically going to grow up knowing two languages, English and Thai, which is really, really cool. Yeah, German. I know a few German words, dude, but it's a lot of language sometimes will have words very similar, like good Nacht for good night in German, Guten Tag, good afternoon, Guten Morgen, good morning. So I know some of those, Faceless, you speak German, so you can tell me if I'm just murdering the pronunciations. But oh, Dutch, cool. Yeah, Liam Ola, I would assume speaks, he's from Sweden. The Swedish language is, man, all those languages, like, I can't wrap my head around it, man. There's just so many. And it's like, man, how do you even learn that? But again, when you're growing up in it, it's different. You know what I mean? When you're growing up and that's what you're learning, you know. Liam, even English and Spanish are good. See, a lot of, and I don't want to put America down. I mean, I live in a good country, yes. Well, although right now we got a lot of crap going on here. But anyway, so Americans were just real horrible about people speaking other languages, and Spanish isn't probably the secondary language in America. And just so many people, with me growing up, would be like, speak English, And I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's the smart person because they know two languages. They may not speak English well, but they know two languages. You only know one. So who's the dumb? Who's the dumb one? And again, I'm not saying you're dumb if you only know one language. That's fine. But I got so tired of the people, just making fun of people who spoke different languages and maybe couldn't speak English that well. It's like, man, when I went to Thailand the first time, I didn't know Thai that well, but I really tried. And the Thai people, they were just so, they were like smiling and kind of laughing at me in a good way. And they're like, they were eating it up. They're like, oh my God, you learning our language. They just treated me like, like a king over there. Um, yeah, yeah, guys, you need education. Yeah, faceless. It is ignorance, dude. It really is. Ahmed. So you speak English and Arabic. Now, dude, that's got to be a very interesting language to learn. Man, that would be real cool to learn that language. Because that's isn't Arabic the oldest language in human history? I could be wrong, and I don't know that. Let me know if I'm wrong. I know it is one of the oldest, but I don't know if it's the oldest. But dude, that would be so cool, to learn Arabic. I've got a good friend. You guys know my buddy, the Arabian Panda. I did a collaboration with him. His name's Kareem. He lives in Dubai. He grew up in Dubai, and of course, he speaks Arabic as well, I believe. So it's just that's just another beautiful culture as well. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times cultures are very misunderstood. You know what I mean? And it goes back to Faceless comment called ignorance. Dude, so Craig, I didn't even see that. I'm sorry, dude. Project Bass and Guitar 777, Hebrew and Shawali. Wow, dude. And Acoustic, Bethel Hall, dude. What is that? I'm reading Acoustics. Strutsphere, England is my ancestors. So Acoustic, the Stallworth family actually comes from a place called Hull, England. I think it's Hull. And of course, I've never been there before. I've never been to England, but I would like to travel there someday. Strasbourg, England. Wow, that's interesting, dude. Bethel Hall. Cool. That's awesome. Acoustic. So the HD 500. Yeah, the HD 500. That was what I was talking about before. Amp modeling hardware versus software. Um, the HD 500 is indeed an amp modeling unit. And just to kind of go back to that, I know we got off on talking about a bunch of different stuff, but that's the beauty of of our chops and hops, man. We just talk about. I put a topic out there, but sometimes we don't even touch on it. We just talk about other things, and it's just kind of cool. But I like to have a topic though, just in case we don't go off like we did tonight, which is fine. This is great. Um, yeah, Craig, I know your wife's Kenyan, dude. You got a real pretty wife, dude. That's awesome, man. I like mixing cultures too. Some people don't like that. Like I have a Thai wife, I don't know, just sometimes people are more attracted to people from other cultures than they are the culture they came from, you know. So it's a cool thing. In Argentina, you also speak with your hands. Nice, dude. But yeah, the HD 500, and it's funny. I was in the guitar store today, and I walked by the used section, and I see an HD 500X, which I've never played through that. I still have. You guys can't see it. I still have my old HD 500 over there. Actually, some of the buttons aren't working anymore, so that kind of sucks. But I saw the HD 500X, and it was up for like half the price. It was like $250 used, and I'm like, I'm kind of curious to play that because I know it's an upgrade from the HD 500, but I'm like, I can't spend $250 right now on that. What I did spend money on today, I meant to share this with you guys earlier. As as I was finishing playing the amp, I had told my buddy Cliff at Replay Guitar Exchange, I said, hey dude, when you get this specific delay pedal in, because I know it'll come in at some point, please let me know. And he forgot to tell me about it. So after I played the orange rocker verb amp, my wife and I left the store. And we found a little breakfast place to go to, which you'll see that breakfast place tomorrow in tomorrow's video. I think it's about like at the 10-minute mark or 8-minute, I don't know. But you'll see it in there if you watch the whole video. And then he calls me. He's like, "Dude, I forgot to tell you this. We have that pedal." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I also saw this other pedal I wanted too, man. I was thinking about it, and we'll just swing back over." So I did. I went back to replay, and here's what I got. See if you guys can see that. I got the Boss digital delay. I've been wanting this pedal for a long time, and I saw this MXR analog chorus pedal. I don't know if this reads backwards to you guys. I don't think it does. No. When I'm looking at it on my phone, I see it backwards, but when I look on the computer down here, I'm like, okay, yeah, guys, but that's what I've got right there. And this chorus sounds beautiful. Now I plug both of these into the effects loop in my EVH. The delay you have to. The delay is going to sound kind of like crap up front, but I plug both of these into the EVH effects loop. And then of course I don't want to pull them out because they're connected. I've got a MXR noise gate in front of the amp, and I also have an MXR classic distortion pedal. I was using that for my overdrive. So Liam, you have a good point about the delay being hard to use. What I have mine set on though, dude, and I use this for leads and for cleans. That's really the only time I'll be using it. I've got it set on. I've just got it set on the. You've got a bunch of settings right here. You guys can't read that because it's, well, maybe you can. Well, no, you can't. It's too small. But there's a bunch of different settings you can have. I like the analog setting though, even though it's a digital delay. Nothing's really truly digital, but or analog. And then I've got the level almost midway. The feedback. So the level's at about 4.5. Feedback's about 4.5, and I got my delay time at about 6. And then I'm using the analog. I like the modulation as well. But once you get into these other modes, it gets kind of weird, and I don't really worry about that, too much. But anyway, I was just glad I got that. That's the digital ADD7. Um, no, Seventh Seal, I don't have a reverb pedal yet. Um, Reverb is something I'll probably go a little bit more pricey on because the thing is, like, I want just a nice reverb to have kind of on everything just to kind of give it that little push. But I also want to be able to do some ambient tones with some like reverb, modulation and that sort of thing. So I'm going to look for a better, a little bit better one there. All right, so where are we at here, guys? The Boss Katana. I want to play through a Boss Katana. You guys keep talking about that. I want to play through one now. Yeah, Faceless. I do love some chorus and delay, dude. I don't need reverb. I just, like I said, I like it for the ambient effects. There's some really so the HD 500 and acoustic. You'll know what I'm talking about, or anybody should use HD 500. There's one of their reverbs effects is called particle verb, and oh my god, it's like I love that tone. I've kind of replicated what I got out of that with Positive Grid's Bias FX2. They have a really nice, and it was called an ambient delay pedal. So if you use Bias FX2, go to their reverbs and then find the ambient reverb. You can get some amazing, like really spacey type effects with that. And I like to use that. You guys hear some of that in Apocalyptic Dreams in certain songs. In the song called Out There, you'll hear that. In the song called The Healing, you'll hear that. And actually, you hear there's some. Do I have ambient effects in Masterpiece? I don't think. But this new album's going to have a bit of that. Phasers are cool. Yeah, the Boss DD3 is a lot more simple to use. In fact, if I ever get a chance to trade that one in for the DD3, that's probably what I'll do. But I've been wanting the delay pedal so bad, and that's what he had there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it because I've been wanting one so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna do some videos on those pedals too, man. Because man, my EVH, like the clean channel is already pretty decent on that thing, but with the chorus, whoa, dude, I was just like, I get chills thinking about it. It was just a beautiful, And I know like most of us play metal, and I mostly play metal, but the beauty of playing metal, but then every now and then switching to something else to surprise people, it just makes it that much more powerful. And then when you go back to the metal, it's like, oh, it's an experience. I like to musically, I want to take you guys on a journey, and I'm not throwing a journey pun in there by any means, but you know, I do. I want my music to take you on a journey and just kind of take you somewhere else in like a movie almost. You know, I really want you to kind of like experience something. So that's really my goal. Faceless mentioned the Vox VT50 modeling amp. I haven't played through that one, man, but I did when I was first getting back into recording. One of my friends, the leader of music in a church that I used to go to. He let me borrow his Vox amp for a while just to have something, and I played through that, and it got me by. It wasn't a modeling amp though; it was just a regular, you know. Liam, the most expensive guitar I played was the Paul Reed Smith I played a while back. And actually, if you go look on my YouTube channel, you type in Jason Stallworth, Paul Reed Smith, or PRS, you'll find that video. It's that green guitar I had. It was like a greenish. My buddy Brian, I think you guys have seen him. Um, that's probably the most expensive one I ever played. It was like a $5,000 guitar. And it's not really my style of guitar, man. I mean, next up is my 7 string I own. It was like close to two grand. It was like $1,900. You know, um, yeah, the DD3 is good, dude. Ambient Heaven, MX Courses, sweet Mike Olson, brother Mike. What's up, dude? Mike, are you drinking beer right now, man? Mike's on. Mike works a lot, guys. I know, and Mike. I know sometimes these might be a little early for you. I put it at 6:30 p.m. because it seems to work okay for. We got people in all over the world. I mean, we got people in Europe, in Australia, you know, South America, some in Asia, different parts of the U.S. So it's really hard to find a good time for everybody. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, I do the best I can with that. But Mike, I know you work a lot, dude. But thanks for joining, man. Uh, just cracked his first one. Nice. Mike, I have Mike's a Florida boy too, and I am really trying to buy nothing but Florida beers just to help support our brewery. So Mike, this is what I just found, dude. It's called Beach Hippie. It's a Beach Hippie IPA, and it's by I've never heard of this before until recently. I got this at the ABC liquor store, which is a Florida owned liquor store, Florida based liquor store. The brewery is called Permission Hollow, and I'm trying to find out where they're at, dude. DeLand, Florida. Okay, so they're way down there. But yeah, Beach Hippie IPA, and it's if you like IPAs, it's pretty good, dude. It's really good. It's become. I will get this again. Actually, I'm gonna go to the beer store tomorrow, and I'm gonna see if they still have this because it was on sale. That's the thing. There's one liquor. If you're in Florida, there's a liquor store called ABC Liquor, and they have discounted all their Florida beers. So, Mike, if you have an ABC Liquor, dude, go there, and you'll see the where they have the Florida beers, and they're discounted, dude. Like things that are usually like $11 or like 7 or 8. So it's crazy, and the reason they're doing that though is because they are a Florida company. The liquors, the ABC liquors, they sell liquor, they sell beer and wine too, but they are a Florida based business. So they're just helping out Florida breweries by discounting the beers, helping them sell more, you know, so they can stay afloat, which I really appreciate that. Because I'm going to tell you guys, I've tried beers from all over the place because I'm a beer connoisseur or something like that. But I do think that Florida has some of the best craft beers. I'm just going to say it. The Pod Go. Mike, what is the Pod Go, dude? I don't even know what that is, man. Is that one of the Line 6 products? The POS Go. That's great, dude. Oh. Um, Seventh Seal, the flash. So you're, I'm sorry, I saw flash sales. I'm like, I thought you guys were talking about flash sales for the beer. um, No, dude. So I didn't pick up any neural plugins. The neural plugin I almost picked up though, and I wish I had, and I missed it, was their bass plugin. I think it's called Glass something. I don't even remember what the name of it is. But there's a bass plugin. I have never tried it, but I wish I would have picked that up. It sucks. Mike sending the Line 6 POS Go back. That's great, dude. Yeah, I'm on their mailing list, dude. Seven Seal. Yeah, Dark Glass. Yeah, I wish I would have got it, dude. Mike, that's a cool area down there, dude. Sarasota, Bradenton. It's not quite as busy as Tampa is, I know, and it's just, but you still have the best of everything. If you want to go to the beach, you can. If you want to kayak in one of the lakes or rivers, you can. And I don't know, I'll tell you guys, I love where we live. I love Florida. I think the only other place that I could would want to live if I had to live somewhere would probably be like Las Vegas because I love it out there too. But then I would get tired of all the non greenery. I like a little bit of everything. So Monday Beach Day, dude. Mike, I was looking into that too, dude. Ahmed, thanks for joining. I know you said you got to go, dude. Thank you for joining, Ahmed. You'll have to teach me Arabic, dude. I mean, I'm serious about that. I'd love to learn some words. Um, so I was looking at that too, Mike. I know there's like a Line Six unit that you have all these different effects in just one giant pedal, but you can assign those effects to be in front of the amp or through the effects loop. And I was really intrigued by that. Mike, I don't think you saw this, dude. I was at Replay Guitar Exchange today, and I picked up these two pedals. I got my digital delay. I'm showing these for Mike because he just came on. I got the Boss Digital Delay DD7, and I got this really cool chorus pedal here, the MXR analog chorus. And I like both these pedals a lot. Um, they really kind of. I just use the delay for leads, guys. It's really and sometimes clean tones, but this really just made my cleans and my EVH sound freaking amazing. But yeah, like the only other effect I'll probably get is maybe like a really nice reverb pedal, and that's just for those ambient effects that I use from here and there, you know. And also I might get a booster pedal because if I'm playing in channel three through my EVH, my high gain channel, if I'm playing my rhythms through that channel and I want to go do a lead, I need something to boost that up. You know what I mean? So I'll either get an EQ pedal for that or some kind of other like booster or something. So you know, but yeah, I do need I need a Verb pedal and that something to boost my leads, dude. That's really all I need. I want to play live again. I don't even know when and where this is going to happen, but it's in there to happen. And it might be just me playing solo. It might be just me playing live to my backing tracks, you know, with stuff like off Apocalyptic Dreams and the new album I'm going to put out. I'm going to start promoting myself in that way, you know, to get out there and hey, I'll play live. It's just me. I'm a solo guitarist. It's just some cool instrumental metal music you guys are going to hear. And, you know, I'll play my backing tracks and that way I can control the volume, you know, so it's not overly loud. So I'm gonna try to start doing that here in this area. And I might have to have Mike come join me. If we hadn't lived so far away from each other, man, you know, dude. Yeah, acoustic. My favorite setting used on the HD 500 line 6 custom tone. Uncle Jason. Yep. Dude, yeah, I'm you know acoustic. I'm very happy with those tones, dude. I'm very happy with the F ball Angel F ball amp I was using. And it's based on, of course, the Engel Fireball. It is such a good tone for what it was. You know, the Rat pedal is a must. Pure obituary, dude. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Raymond. Yeah, we got to come up here. Acoustic, killer acoustic. Yeah, Mike, we've got to, dude. This thing, like, I don't, Mike. I don't know about your county, but Hillsborough County. I mean, dude, they're making everybody wear a mask everywhere now, and they're saying they're gonna fine businesses if there's people in there that don't wear masks or whatever. It's just, I'm not gonna get into all that, but it's just kind of getting, I don't know, it's getting a little out of hand in my opinion. That's just my opinion. My opinion could be wrong, but you know, it's almost like I get it, you know, safety. I totally understand that, but just keep your distance from people. And, you know, fortunately in the gym, they said, okay, yeah, you have to wear a mask, but when you're working out, you don't. Because I'm like, if somebody's wearing a mask while they're working out and they have something happen to them, you know, anyway. But yeah, I don't like. I go to I wear a mask in Publix in the grocery store, and I'm away from everybody. But I know that it just makes people feel comfortable. Yeah, and I'm not. I just don't want to be that person that I don't feel like I have to wear a mask, so I'm not. But then I make other people. I don't want to be that guy either. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hold my beer. I love that name, dude. That's an awesome name. I'll hold your beer for you. The glass is definitely half empty. Well, not even half empty. It's getting there. Hold my beer's got a question about the Bias FX2 sounds better with IRs. No, I don't. I've never used IRs with it, dude. So when I got Bias FX, when I got Bias Amp 2 rather, because I have Bias Amp 2 and Bias FX 2, um, the Elite package comes with the Celestion speakers. To me, because I really was, I mean, Bias FX are okay, but with the Celestion speakers that they have, it's a complete game changer in my opinion. To my ears, to my playing, you guys might play through it and like, Jason, this sucks, dude. Because I notice that sometimes, sometimes you come up with something that's really cool, but it doesn't work for somebody else. But in my opinion, the Bias FX2 sounds really good with the Celestion speakers. So make sure you get the Elite package with the classic Celestion IRs in there. But like as far as other IRs externally, I don't like combining different plugins together. I feel like it bogs down your computer, and it just I don't know. It's just I like as simple as I can possibly make it. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, Liam. So in Argentina, if they don't respect the quarantine, they're arrested. I guess my final note on that whole thing is I feel bad for the small businesses that had to shut down. I feel really bad for the people who maybe has spent their blood, sweat, and tears in the past 10 years of building a business from scratch, and then something like this happened, and then the government tells you can't be open, so you have to close shop. And like, what do you do after that? I mean, I don't know if you guys realize this, but the suicide rate from this thing's been so high, and I think it's because of things like that. People that they've been broke before and they built something. They're finally there, and then something like this happens, and they're like, well, that's it. I how do I come back from that? You know what I mean? So anyway, I like I said, I don't want to get too much into that because then, what I've seen that I don't like the most is that here in the United States we're famous for turning everything into a political battle, dude, and it just becomes right against the left. And I'm not associated with any. I'm an independent. And if you're Democrat, Republican, that's fine. I get it, and that's everybody has reasons for having whatever views that they have. And here's what I will tell you. Let me see if I can find a coin. So I don't have a coin in here, but pretend this is like a penny, okay? This pick right here is a penny. So most people are heads or tails. Here's the thing though. They think there's only two sides of the coin. There's a third side to every coin. And that third side is on the edge. Very narrow side. But here's the thing. When you're on the third side of the coin, you can look down and see both sides. Like magic. So you don't have to be right or left, heads or tails. You can be on this side right here, on that third side that can see everything. And that's that without even telling you anything else, that's where my political stance is because I just don't believe I don't believe that politicians, and I don't know how it is in your countries. I just don't believe that politicians truly have our best interest in mind. I think that they only care about themselves and their little elite class, and I feel like there's probably a whole lot more going on behind the scenes that we'll ever know. And all you can do is just live your life the best you can. And I don't worry about anything else. You know what I mean? Hey, if I have to wear a mask going to the grocery store, okay, I'll wear a mask, whatever. But I just don't let myself get caught up in that, man. You know, it does suck, Levant. Politics, it's really horrible. You know, it wasn't always like this, but Yeah, Mike. Yeah, isn't that amazing? These guys, they go. Mike makes a good point. They go in the office dead broke, and then a couple years later, they're magically a millionaire on our tax dime, by the way. Yeah, so that's, and I'm not. I won't get into the whole Trump thing. I'm not. Whatever. But what I will say is when Trump ran for president, I believe the reason why he got voted in, this is just my opinion, the reason he got voted in is because he was not a politician. And people in America feel like politicians have failed them for a long, long time now, you know. But now, on the other side of things, America's not a bad place to be. I mean, I can sit here and do this, you know what I mean, with you guys, hang out with you guys. I can, I can, I have the ability to own my own business. Um, Most of the tax laws in like countries like in the European countries in America and even in South America, most of the tax laws, if you really dig into those, are the same, and they encourage certain activities as a business for you to do. So there's certain write-offs. These aren't loopholes. These are actually write-offs that your government encourages them. We think it's bad because that's what we've been taught. It's like, oh, you're trying to get away from taxes. No, if you're producing something or giving a service, even if it's entertainment, the government wants that because those types of things bring in revenue and it keeps the world going. So those are the way the tax laws are written. And Mike, you know what I'm talking about. You're a business owner too, but that's the thing, So all that said, all that said is like you don't. It's not so bad, even if the politics are bad or whatever. I mean, being alive, at least here where I live, is not a bad thing. I can't complain. I really can't complain. You know. You can always find something to complain about if you want to complain about something, but that's just it. But yeah, DW, we got metal to keep us together. That's for sure. Ahmed came back, dude. Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. I think we're probably shutting down pretty soon, man. Oh, Mike Olson's seen a lot of the big blue marble. Every time you come back through customers, they ask if you have anything to declare. Always say yes. I declare. I'm glad to be back in the U.S. That's funny, dude. um, that's an interesting question, Paul. I've never read fantasy novels while listening to metal. Paul's asking that question. Uh, that's a very interesting question. And dude, I like that because metal and fantasy kind of go together. Like if you think of all the imagery in metal music, um, like a Mon Amarth. I mean, yes, kind of Viking base in Nordic and all that, but that's part of fantasy. If you think of Nightwish, man, I can't think of any better like fantasy based band than Nightwish. You know what I mean? So it's like wow. But I've actually never read fantasy novels except for who was it? Was it Terry Brooks? And I don't remember the names of the books. Hmm. Yeah, Mike, you wrote your 30-minute trilogy based loosely off of a sci-fi novel. That's awesome. Um, the band that I'm creating, and that probably won't get released until 2021. But the band that I'm creating outside of my solo artistry here is going to be, it's going to be based on kind of horror fantasy. I shouldn't say horror. That's probably not the right thing, but probably more like things that scare the shit out of you, like demons and ghosts and stuff like that. I'm fascinated with the supernatural, so that it's going to kind of be based on that. But anyway, that's coming down the pipe. Yeah, Mike, Ariel's Attic, Garden of the Gods, YouTube it. Yeah, that's a good. That's a really good tune, dude. Ahmed, tell Miriam hello. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming back, dude. Nice. I'm just catching up, guys. I'm catching up on comments here. I look down here because my laptop's down here, so I'm not ignoring you guys. I think most of you know that anyway. Okay, the Tenacious D. The government totally sucks you. Dude. Oh, man. But yeah, fantasy novels and metal. You've got my mind very interested on that. So Acoustic, you still play the HD and want to follow me on videos, and thank you, Acoustic, man. I really appreciate you, dude. Seriously. I appreciate all of you guys. But yeah. Mike, we never really got into amp modeling hardware versus software. We talked a little bit about it, but um, when I came on, I was talking about my video that's coming out tomorrow morning, guys. For some of you, it might not be morning, but it's scheduled to release at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Friday, and it's the Orange Rock Verb amp is what I demoed this morning. So I demoed it, ate breakfast, came back home and put it together, and I decided to release it tomorrow. But we got to talking about those types of things more, and we never really got too much around to amp modeling hardware software. I do see there's a few HD, Line 6 users in here, the HD 500. Um, but I'll tell you something, guys. Me personally, is I actually prefer the sound of hardware modeling, like better than plugins. There's something. Oh, I mean, I love the plugins. Don't get me wrong; they're awesome, awesome, awesome. But there's just something there. And here's what I'll say. Let me back up. I like playing with the plugins better. But when I record something, I actually like the way the hardware modeling amps sound after the fact, if that makes sense. And I don't know why that is. You know, I really don't know why that is. So, yeah, Faceless says that Helix LT is pretty nice. I'd like to play through that, Faceless. I have not played through that yet, dude. I'd like to get my hands on one. I'm not gonna buy one. I don't. I'm not loaded, guys. I don't have the money to buy everything. I haven't bought anything in a while. I bought those two pedals today, but that was cheap. He cut me a really good deal on that. Raymond says, "What's the best way to learn how to play guitar with electric or acoustic?" I actually prefer people to learn, Raymond, on acoustic. I learned on acoustic. Even learn your metal stuff on acoustic because it's learning on acoustic is I'll and maybe a lot of you will get this. I love weightlifting analogies because they just work. And Mike, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. Learning on acoustic guitar before going to electric is like when you first start lifting weights. It's like learning how to properly deadlift and squat properly before you go on to all the other exercises that build the pretty muscles. It's just that foundation that you're building, and you learn to play on acoustic and learn those basics. Then when you jump to electric, you're gonna have some flying fingers, man. It's gonna be like, whoa. So I really prefer people to learn to start on acoustic. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, if you guys feel differently, I'm up for hearing the reasons. Mike, you've got the Helix rack, excuse me, and you've got the Axe FX I know too, but you prefer the Axe FX over that. And Mike, I don't know which one you have, dude. Do you have the latest Axe FX or is it the first generation or second generation? I didn't bring any water up here, man. My throat's getting dry. And that was my last chug of beer. What to do? But the acoustics definitely. I think it's best to learn on acoustic. Doesn't mean you have to. I just think it's best. Yeah. The old, I almost called it Ass FX. The old Axe FX. Oh, dude. The funny thing is you could probably get the old FX. I almost said it again. Axe FX, pretty decent price. Those things are expensive, and the thing about old gear, the way I look at older equipment is if it worked and sounded great when you first got it, it could have been 2 years ago or 10 years ago. There's no reason why it doesn't still sound great now. It's just like a tube amp. Like if you own a Mesa and you've had it for 20 years, it's still gonna sound the same. Still, just because something new came out doesn't mean your awesome amp is no longer awesome. You know what I mean? And that's one of the problems with technology is that we keep progressing and progressing and progressing, but I think sometimes we progress so much that it just doesn't sound real anymore, if that makes sense. Ahmed, it's hard to say what the best metal guitar is, dude, because it's I think starting it depends on what you're saying. Starting out, what I'll say is ESP, Jackson, Ibanez, those three brands for metal, you really can't go wrong with them. There's other guitars for metal, and you can play metal on pretty much anything if you really want to. And Liam, I guess solar guitars too. I don't know, man. I've never played a solo guitar before. The Telly. Hey, a Telly can do it. I had my buddy's Telly. It was kind of souped up a little bit. The pickups weren't, but it was. I actually liked playing it, man. It was pretty cool to play. Acoustic amp modeling really is the same, dude. Your amp modeling in your HD 500 is, think of it this way. When you look in your HD 500, you choose what amp you want and what cabinet you want. What you just chose is a software patch that's modeling a specific amp. So same thing if you were to get a plug-in, you get a VST plug-in, you go into that, you're going to choose what amp you want to use in that plug-in and what cabinet. That little feature there is simulating whatever amp that they're supposed to be simulating. Hopefully that makes sense. But yes, anything that's made to sound like something else is really just simulating that. But it's all software at the end of the day. Of course, in the HD500, it's a hardware unit. You know what I mean? It's not computerized, but still computerized to that degree. But it's you've got the actual hardware piece, not necessarily just the software patch in your computer. But that's really. So faceless, you say okay? That's good to know, faceless. So your Solar 7 string has a neck like the Ibanez. I'm actually. I know you and I were chatting about the 7 string stuff. I'm actually going to. I'm actually going to play. I found an Ibanez RG 7 string that I want to go play. It's at a Guitar Center, so I just want to go play it. I'm not going to go buy it from them. Um, I'd probably have Replay order it for me, you know, because I'm trying to support them more. They're a mom and pop, so I'm trying to do my business through them. Um, yeah, the Indonesian guitars are good though. I think sometimes I think sometimes that we just we have a bias already in there. That we think something's made in a certain place, it's not going to be good. But Indonesian, man, some good guitars come out of there, dude. Really good guitars come out of there. The best, I see some pickup action here, pickup conversation. I mean, the EMGs are good. I need to mess around with some more pickups. So, Mike, yeah, I know you have a 7 string, Mike, the RG7. Mike, how do you like that's not a good question. I'll tell you my thing with Ibanez. What I like about my Ibanez, this is my 6 string, and I showed you guys this last time, is the neck is thin and the fingerboard is a little wider, and that fits me very very well. This guitar, because of that, plays better for me than both my ESP guitars. Even though the hardware and pickups and all and the ESPs are better. So that's kind of what I've got to really cater to if I'm going to stick with 7 string. If I'm going to continue to play a 7 string, I'm not going to play my ESP anymore. It just doesn't. I've had it for over a year and it just doesn't feel right, and I can't. I haven't touched it in, well, actually I played it today. It could be my finger. I don't know what it is, faceless, but whatever it is, you have to play what works for you. You know what I mean? I have no idea what it is, but um, I just when I play my guitars, my Ibanez just fits me so much better. So I want to stick with that. Yeah, DW, the Jackson DK GMT. Jacksons are great. I haven't played one in a long time, man, but they're good guitars, dude. Paul, should you force yourself to stop what you're doing and go to bed at bedtime, even though you want to keep playing guitar? I mean, it depends on what you have to do the next day, brother. That's one of those things. The more you play, I mean, the better you get. However, what I preach more than anything is just be consistent, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're consistent, but just a comment I want to make though, you know, don't get to the point where you're practicing so many hours, but then you don't touch your guitar for a week or for 3 4 days. You know, I'd rather see you practice only 10 minutes a day every day than play for a big block of time and then not play at all for several days. You know, that there's something about that cumulative effect that daily practice, you know, has for you. And sometimes you get to the point in burnout. I mean, sometimes I practice and I'll play, and it's like, okay, I've been playing for an hour, and it's just I'm like at the point of burnout, so I'll stop. You know. No, Mike, I haven't played the Nuno N4, dude. Never played with that. Acoustic collaborating on an album. I haven't really thought about that, dude. What I do right now for albums is I hire stuff out right now under my solo project. Because when you're collaborating with people on an album, then it gets into percentages of funds being distributed to certain people and that sort of thing. So this it's just easier for me to for my solo stuff is it's easier for me since it's under everything's under my business name. I have an LLC called Uncle Jason Productions LLC. So it gets a little complicated when you start having to divvy up certain percentages of songs that people were played on. And because you not only do you have iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff, you also have like CD sales. Like I sell my CDs from here, so if I collaborated with someone and they want a percentage of that, then I'm responsible for calculating that. You know, it's just it becomes a big headache, man. So I don't really do collaborations. If I need something on an album, I will pay them that one time, and that's you know like my drummer, I pay him to record drums, and then he doesn't get any royalties or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that's just hopefully that answers your question. It probably wasn't the answer you wanted to hear, but that's the way I do my solo stuff. Now, when I form the band that I want to form, that's gonna be something a little bit different. You know, that's gonna be more of a shared project. Faces got big hands, dude. Yep. So the ESPs probably worked really well for you, Faces. Mike, 29 guitars, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Man, I'm gonna have to come play your guitars, dude. Jackson King, that's a lot of guitars, dude. Guys, I just realized what time it is. I do have to break us off now, so I'm sorry to cut. Well, we're not really cutting it short, but but yeah, I do have to jet, guys. I want to spend some time with my wife this evening before it's bedtime for us. But real quick, guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. I really, really appreciate all of you guys. Seriously do. And, you know, I am going to cut us here tonight. But, guys, stay tuned for tomorrow. You'll get an email from me tomorrow around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so that'll come tomorrow. And you'll see the first link in there will be for the video that's brand new tomorrow on the Orange Rocker Verb. So you'll get to see that tomorrow too. So guys, thank you so much again for being on. I appreciate each and every one of you. Absolutely, keep it metal. We'll talk soon, guys. Good night.